give it another try. Not enough zooming in, really.
Yeah, not enough zooming in. It doesn't really showcase the class in this map. It doesn't show where all the bases are.
That's true. You should make a new one for us.
Yeah, I will get right on that. Tell some people about it. Our player down here at the bottom left, in the red, down a game in this series, he is
TheStC.
The STC standing for the StarCraft.
Yep. His opponent at the top right, in the blue, on the team Liquid, he is
Liquid TaeJa.
and in my opinion, a less cool hairstyle, but a very standard one. It's a standard
Yeah,
hairstyle.
no, it's just he's being safe with it.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
all,
Because the hairstyle that the STC has right now, he might not want to show that to his parents, for example. Even though he's on TV, he's actually screwed then because his parents have probably seen this. But you know, the style that TaeJa has, you can pretty much get away with it with any girl on any date. They're gonna be like, that's standard. The STC is a little bit riskier though because it gives kind of more of a bad boy look, but the girl might not be looking for that.
Well, you know what? Maybe he's looking for the girl that is looking for that.
Yeah, that's probably what's going on. He knows what he wants.
Yeah,
and he wants to gas first here. That's what he wants on this map. That is important.
In fact, both of our players are gassing first here.
Yeah.
And that proxy racks.
Yeah.
That racks, Wolf. What do you think?
It could be a lot of things. It could just be that he wants to float it and scout it as he goes to the mech play, but off of gas first, that would be a little bit weird.
Yeah, when you gas first and then put a racks out there like that, what I feel like we're going to see is reactored Hellions over there, which is really weird.
Ganji
it could
does
be
this
siege
sometimes.
tanks. It could be siege tanks. But just, you know, he's going to have that gas lined up to actually make the factory as soon as the barracks is done. So, I mean, this is out here for and out on whether it's a reactor or a tech lab.
I have seen a variation of this build with the proxy where you make the reactor with the barracks and then you make a factory. You make reactor marines and just a forward barracks. You have both the add-ons there, both the barracks producing double marines and the factory just rallied out very quickly. It punishes a very fast expand, a one racks expand or a command center first very, very effectively.
Well, he's not building that out there.
Yeah.
He's building the factory in his main base. This is really interesting to me.
It's a tricky move. I think it's one of those builds, like, for example, in TVZ, sometimes you see people hide the barracks basically for no reason, or they end up trying to kill an overlord with it. It's a trick move, I guess. Second gas, though, is going down
for both players.
In fact, we're going to have a weird game.
Yeah, this is, you know, that depot over there, I'm like looking at it. I'm really looking at this depot by the STC because I feel like the barracks has something to do with him putting that depot there. But even if his opponent's going for Banshee or something like that, okay, there we go. Now we understand this a little bit better. It's going to be proxy cloaked Banshee.
Yeah, and his opponent, if he scans, for example, he'll see the factory in the main base. And I don't know, it's kind of weird what he's done here, but I feel like, all right, I get it. I see what you're trying to do here. It looks like he's moved that barracks over a little bit more forward, too.
If I scan this... Oh, wait, no. If I scan this and see the double gas, then I think, okay, there's a Banshee somewhere. But normally, the factory would be right next to the starport because it built its add-on. So, kind of interesting. I thought for a second it might be a useful build to actually trick him up a little bit. But we'll see. The STC going to go ahead and...
He's building
this is so weird the way he's moving his buildings.
He's moving all his buildings everywhere. Yeah, nice catch here for the STC getting that Hellion.
Yeah, this is all kind of crazy. Cloak is on the way.
See, he's delayed his cloak very slightly because he's moved this around so much. So TaeJa's going to have that advantage on him. A slight advantage, but an advantage nonetheless.
Yeah, the advantage is slight, but the Banshee will actually get there first.
Look what he's doing, man. He's making a reactor at his barracks next to the starport now. Now, this is really interesting. This may be something like I talked about earlier, where you just reactor out Marines and rally them and do a push with siege tanks, medevacs, and Marines. I mean, Banshees, not medevacs. He doesn't have any siege tank production, though.
I feel like...
This is so weird.
Could it be like a modified Sky Terran? 2 cloaked Banshee into a mass Viking or something like that?
It's possible, and you know, if so, they would have to make the reactor there. You can't afford to spend time floating it back home. You may be right here.
Yeah, I would like to see it like I would like to see that as just a different form of Sky Terran. We do have 2 turrets on the way for the STC, so he kind of gets it. TaeJa has 1 as well. These guys, they know each other, man. They know what's going on very well.
Yeah, I feel like the STC is very much afraid to play a straight-up game against TaeJa with how we've seen these past 2 builds. Kind of
Yeah, that's actually very true. He's not playing very straight up here. Now, we do have some harassment starting up. That cloak not going to be all that useful with that turret. That's a really well-placed turret. Don't forget they can see further than they can shoot.
Did Cloak actually finish for TaeJa, or did he cancel it? That's
yeah,
okay,
both
so
of
it
them
did
have
finish.
Cloak.
Okay. And yeah, now he's starting to use it, doing a lot of damage. Both players actually doing a significant amount of damage. And this usually happens when both players go Cloak because there's no Viking out right away. However, the Viking coming out for TaeJa is going to be faster because he's making it at his main base where he's defending, whereas the Viking of the STC is going to have to float all the way across the map if he even decides to make one.
Yeah, he's making a Viking right now. It is rallied up towards the base of his opponent, but that probably will change. A lot of damage being done by both players. Absolute madness. And TaeJa does lose one Banshee.
Well, the second one remains.
Right now, we have 14 SCVs killed to 13 killed.
Yeah, it's basically dead even in units lost.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit crazy. TaeJa does have a command center and a Raven on the way, but his command center, the SCV has been killed on, so it is not making anymore.
And something else to note is that the STC has lost so much mining. In fact,
this has actually gone out of control now, Wolf. We have 20 SCVs killed by TaeJa now. The turrets were not placed as well for the STC.
And because he lost all that mining, he hasn't been able to use that money on those Marines like he would have wanted to. So he doesn't really have a timing unlocked here to attack his opponent with. He's really behind in every way. I feel the Raven's now out, and he's got 2 command centers. He's just ahead in every way, and he's not even done killing these SCVs. Well, now he is.
That last one he did get in. 24 killed against 16, and that's obviously a very big deal. 10 SCVs to 17, and now TaeJa has a
2
Raven
command centers,
and
Raven,
a Viking as well.
He's basically the only advantage that the STC has, if you can call it an advantage, is he has 4 Marines. His opponent doesn't have those.
I don't call that an advantage.
That's what he was trying to do, was to get that pressure coming out from that barracks, but he lost too much mining. He couldn't build from it. Now he's going to, I guess, try to make a command center, but it's just going to be so behind, and he knows that too.
Yeah, this is like really rough for him to try to come back from. I'm looking at what the STC can do. He's not really doing very much. He's saving up his money for a command.
He's trying to come in here and do some damage with Cloak, even though he knows there's a Viking and a Raven out. But I like this because he has to do something like this.
Well,
what else is he going to use that Banshee for?
I guess you're right. You know, you did even up the SCVs a little bit more, 24 to 20, but with that second command center, plenty of mules, plenty of SCVs.
And basically, he's in the toughest position to be in ever. He's going to make another command center, but he knows it's behind.
You know,
I mean, he's basically just conceding the fact that his opponent is ahead of him rather than trying to do an all-in. But because he doesn't really have any all-in time, is because his production facilities were all in different places.
Yeah,
he can't do that either. Like, he might as well GG now, but I mean, he's going to try to do something.
Well, he's going to throw down another command center, and he's going blue flame it. Oh, he was going blue flame, but he canceled. He's going siege tank instead. He's being a little bit indecisive. He doesn't really know what to do here, and that can happen. You know, when it's a weird scenario like this, you get behind in a weird way. You're like, he has to be sitting here thinking, oh, he has a Raven. I've lost. We might have killed about the same amount of SCVs. Hard for him to tell exactly during all that micro. But with that extra command center, with the Raven, with the Vikings, he has to feel like he is behind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's
got to take risks. And
he's flip-flopping on exactly what to do, about how he can possibly come back.
This is the only risk he can take. Because
he trapped the siege.
He trapped his siege thing. That's unfortunate. I feel like this is the only risk he can take because, as I mentioned, just going for the one expansion, you're just behind. You just concede that you're behind.
Yeah.
Going for the all-in, it's a big map. He already knows his opponent has a large army, so that won't work either. He has to double expand. It's the only other option left for him, and even that is so risky.
You know, I think, yeah, you're right, Wolf. I think that we're actually going to see a massive Viking Raven attack with some Marines.
Yeah.
This is going to be really weird and cool, but
he's going to have combat shields with it.
Yeah, and I mean, he can throw down a lot of auto turrets.
Yeah.
I'm like, point of defense drone? No, that's not it. Auto turrets, plenty of those, land Vikings, and do quite a good job here. So, I mean, it's going to be hard. The STC so far behind economically. The only thing he's really going to have going for him is he is going to have siege tanks with siege mode, which do pretty well overall against these Vikings. But in these numbers, it might not be enough.
Yeah, it will likely not be enough, but TaeJa can trade pretty decently to make a third command center because of his worker count advantage. I mean, he's got the ability to do that. He's got backups here. This push is not all in by any means. It's just very aggressive and meant to trade this Hellion, maybe the most valuable Hellion ever. Oh, barely misses the scout, and that's pretty unfortunate for the STC.
By the way he's moving those Vikings, there's a possibility he'll want to go to the main base to try to harass. And the STC obviously doesn't want to move his siege tanks around too much with those Marines coming up towards the front, but I'm not sure that this will be doing too much damage.
Yeah, I don't think so. He may get a few SCVs, but once the Marines come up, it's not going to work out too well. Good auto-turret placement here. He needs the tanks. He can't be sending the Marines alone.
I'd love to see him take out that turret so he can actually get out of there without losing anything when the siege tanks come up. Trying to target down. There we go. Does take it out. Good job.
Yeah, good job indeed getting some add-ons and trading with the Marines pretty decently here.
Yeah, those auto
Even getting the refinery.
Yeah, he's done a great little job here. Look at the supply right now. He's up by over 30 at the moment. And, I mean, he's going to get out of there losing very little. Now he's killed 35 SCVs compared to just 21 of the STC.
Oh, looks like he's actually coming here for an attack at the front now.
Wow, look at this. Wants to snipe the siege tank if possible, and his opponent's Viking as well.
This is a pretty big commitment, though.
It is. Those Marines are coming down, but he's decided his Vikings can't fight them off. Nice micro by both players there.
Yeah, this is this move by TaeJa was something I didn't expect to do as much damage, but it's paid off really well. The STC traded well at the end here, but the sheer numbers, Artosis, are the problem for him now. These Vikings have trapped one of his only groups of units left. He cannot overextend himself against these siege tanks, though. I can't believe he's doing this.
Yeah, the siege tanks on the high ground doing a great job against TaeJa.
My God.
Losing a lot of Vikings there. Just a little bit too greedy on that aggression.
Yeah, with how terrible that last engagement for him was, even though he's still up supply, it shows just how ahead he was before.
Yeah.
And this is going to continue a little bit longer. I feel like he may force a lift on the STC, and then he'll kind of pull back. He's got a third command center going up right now. It's 47 SCVs to 24 right now. Well, and that number is getting even smaller as he targets down more SCVs.
It's not just that; it's more mules as well at this point. I mean, he's got to be feeling completely great about this position, even though he threw away a lot of units. His supply lead has actually grown throughout this, and that's mostly just due to the economy.
Absolutely. Add-ons being added for the STC, which is a choice he has to make because his situation with upgrades, but can he afford to add add-ons right now? He needs to be producing every unit he can so he doesn't die.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, but against the units he's been seeing, I'm not surprised that he realized that he does need to get some upgrades if he wants to actually continue into this game any further. But TaeJa is doing a great job. You know, he's continuing to macro up, and in fact, with that fourth base coming up, the onus is right now on the STC. He must get aggressive.
He must.
Even if TaeJa attacks all game nonstop and does poor trades, he will win. So the STC has to get something done, and that's what this medevac is all about. But without stim, how much can 7 unstimmed Marines really do before he counters it?
Yeah, it's not going to be a lot. The STC is starting his stim now, though he hasn't been able to start combat shields. I like his choice to attack this location rather than going for the main. He's going to force some lost mining, which does even things up a little bit here. But the supply is still going out of control, and this double medevac drop coming in for TaeJa is going to be pretty tough to defend. He does have one siege tank at defense, but I mean he's going to lose stim here, and
it's a game ender, I think. You know, they both have 1-1, but stim combat shields, targeting everything down. This is too much damage that the STC cannot afford to take.
It's been a tough game to watch, really, for the poor STC.
Yeah, this has not gone well, but at the same time, TaeJa not really going down to kill that. All right, finally sending some units down, but I guess we're not going to show that. He might actually lose this.
Yeah, he's going to lose the orbital, which is really weird.
Wow, last second TaeJa realizes what's going on. Too busy microing his units over in his opponent's base.
Yeah, he may have to pick up there. He's going to go into the natural now where there are very few units to defend. And the STC can't be both places at once. He just simply, I mean, he's one spoonful of peanut butter trying to spread on a loaf of bread. It's just not going to work. GG.
That's actually the best metaphor for this. Well, some people don't like a lot of peanut butter. You people are weird. Some people put butter and peanut butter on their bread. You do that?
No.
Okay, good. That's actually a rule in my house. I'm not even joking.
That's a good rule.
I
respect that.
I have 2 rules. Don't ever tell me I slammed the microwave door. And if I ever find butter in my peanut butter jar, you're out.
Oh, I thought it was just because you think it's really unhealthy to put butter and peanut butter.
No, I just can't stand it.
Gotcha.
All right, so
I'm about that with the mayonnaise and the mustard, though. I hate mayonnaise, and if anyone gets mayonnaise in my mustard, they're banned.
I understand you. I understand.
I think it's a similar principle.
I don't
here.
actually like mustard, and mayonnaise I only use in egg salad sandwiches for the most part, so I don't really use it that much.
When I was a kid growing up, I used a lot of mustard. I don't really use mustard that much now, but the thing is, I was so annoyed by this, I told my parents they had to buy the mustard in the squeeze jar because knives and the mayonnaise and everything,
I get you. I'm exactly like that, and I think a lot of people probably are because
one day peanut butter will be like this too, probably in squeeze jars. I don't know. It'd be hard to spread.
Squeeze it.
Yeah.
Well, what type of texture peanut butter do you like? I actually do like the thicker texture, and oftentimes I do buy chunky peanut butter.
That's a good point.
You know, I normally have a jar of each in the house. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
So you can't really squeeze that.
Yeah, you can't.
But all right. So the STC is down to code B.
Yeah, the STC with two proxy builds that, I mean, like I said, I think he just did not want to play a longer game against TaeJa. Didn't feel comfortable. I don't blame him. TaeJa's looking really strong right now.
He's a scary, scary Terran. He's very good at TVT, as we've seen against not just the STC, but against Marine King as well. He'll get his chance for revenge here.
Yeah.
You think TaeJa can take out Marine King?
It's going to be one of his best chances to do it. I don't think I would give him the edge, but I think Marine King's looking a little bit tilted right now. He's very tired.
He was upset about that loss.
Very upset. And that's the first time I've seen Marine King upset about a loss in a while. You know, I was talking about this earlier today. He seems like his mentality has not really gotten to him anymore. He's kind of gotten over that hump of being worried.
Yeah.
But today, he's looking like old Marine King, looking very upset about that loss.
Yeah. All right, well, we will be right back with that. I'm Artosis, he is Wolf, and this is the GSL.